Yep,
All right, we'll call the meeting to order at this time. I want to welcome everybody with the Pledge of Allegiance. And let's put the media guy to work. Well, let's get somebody.
There we go.
Lead us, buddy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Expect to see that in the newspaper that you read.
That's good.
First thing I want to forget, I want to wish you all Merry Christmas on behalf of our board. Roll call, we have with us on the phone, Chad?
Here.
Okay, Paul?
Here.
Myself, I'm here. All righty, any communications?
No communications?
Okay, let's move right into the approval of the minutes. We have two to approve about the minutes of the rescheduled board meeting on the 4th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Hey. Okay, it's been seconded by Chad. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Let's go to the special meetings we had on the 9th, 10th, and 11th. What's the pleasure, Paul?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? They're pretty straightforward. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Under financial items, in the absence of our finance director, is out sick. You've got before you, of course, you've got all the information ahead of this information sheet in the back, which is what we always go to. So if you got any questions on anything prior to that last sheet, you can get your questions to me and I'll follow up with any questions that you have. But anyway, as of Saturday, November 30th, which is the end of November, our percentage of budgeted year, we're 41.67% of the way through the new fiscal year. Our current debt service factor is 7.88, which is exceptional.
Yes.
Total revenues, we're over budget, 2.37%. Operating expenses, we're under by 5.31%, which is good. And our percentage of budget chemicals used is 39.24. It's pretty good when we're 41.67% away through the year. So we're doing really good on chemical expenses as well. Any questions?
Can't do much better than that.
Nope.
I mean,
Good job.
I'll always look at the expenses. I love being under. So
You
we're
give a
under.
really good financial report, Mr. Manager.
Hey, I burn right through. Do you have any questions? I just hit the highlights.
All right, let's make a motion to approve the financial report.
I make a motion we approve the financial report.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Hearing any questions? None? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The three most important things on there that I look at is the debt service factor, the revenues and expenses. And all three of those are great, but good report for November. All right, moving on to the unaccounted for water loss report. This is for month ending October 31, 24. Our percentage loss to finish is 22.78, up from last month. Our total year to date is 18.01%. Our total unaccounted for water is 14.69%, so we're up a little
Great.
bit. We're up a little
But
bit from
even
last
so,
month.
we're below 15.
Right. And the reason is, as you can imagine, is the temperature change, seasonal changes and stuff.
Yes.
Anytime you go from warm season to cold, movement of the ground, it can tell you from an engineering standpoint, it's when you get your leaks.
Okay, any questions on
So-
the unaccounted for water? Okay,
Okay, we don't have any invoices or quotes to present. There's no update for the Chestnut Street water line replacement project. I'll work with Steve. We'll try to get this thing closed out. But I have nothing new to report, but between now and the next meeting, I'll try to work with Steve to get this project closed out with the contractor. Water system improvements project, phase 3A. From the board side, we did our neighborhood meetings, December the 9th, 10th, and 11th. We had an average of about 30 people attend each one. The presenters done an exceptional job. Al done his part, Doug has done his part. A lot of good questions from the audience. Really more people was really more asking questions about what kind of material they had. That seemed to be the most important question they had. So I had a laptop there with a database and had a line of people coming up and I was verifying their stuff with them. But we found some discrepancies, which is good.
Yeah.
Because I said, hey, in 2019, I replaced that with plastic. So I made a note, I sent an email to Cloud, we're gonna update the database. So a lot of good feedback.
Well, they want to talk about plumbing, getting plumbers to help us
Yeah, that's a,
really discuss.
The nice thing about that, they'll carry that message back with their neighbors, you know, they'll in the
Yeah,
community.
spread the word.
so what we're gonna do now is, Mary Lemine's supposed to be sending me all 3 recordings from all 3 sessions. And we are going to bring those in and see if they need to be edited in any way. Then we're going to upload those to our YouTube and get the message out on our Facebook and our website so people can go and it's not gonna, I think a couple of the sessions show us, the presenters,
I think it's more slides.
but most of it is like a Teams meeting where they see the slides and stuff, and they're going to hear what's being said, questions being answered, things like that. So,
She said it's going to be more audio than video stuff.
yeah. So the folks that couldn't make it, they'll be able to go on there and watch it at their leisure.
But they can get the information and they can hear some of the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So outside of that, what do you have, Nate?
No, I want to say you guys did a great job at the presentation. I was there for 2 of them. They were good, very informative, and a lot of good information there, so.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
Well, we need to thank Duff Street United Methodist Church.
Yep.
St. James Catholic Church.
And we're
And
going to
the
send them a
Robinson
letter.
Red
and a
Theater. I
little
saw that
token.
up there. Thank you.
I'm gonna write them a letter of thank you and then send a little token of our appreciation for helping us out. Both great venues, both are, all 3 venues were great, very helpful. I mean, all we did was show up and leave. They cleaned up everything. So it was very nice and very welcoming, all 3 venues, very welcoming. So we're very thankful for that.
Okay.
But as far as an update, I don't really have a whole lot. There's a lot going on from the contractor standpoint. We're starting to get submittals in, so we're in the process of reviewing submittals now. You know, that's,
We had a little, I don't even really consider it an issue, just some questions about some biddings and stuff. And Doug and Steve and I worked together, and if you want to tell them a little bit about that.
yeah, so we ended up acquiring the Chester Street project. We acquired a zinc coating on the duct wire pipe. So
We discussed Chestnut Street, you said.
I'm sorry.
Chestnut Street.
Yeah, Chester
So
Street.
this had nothing to do with the other projects, right?
Yes, yeah, it does.
Oh, it
Well,
does?
so we part of that zinc coating, but you know, as we got into this more, I wasn't involved in the beginning of that project. As we get into this, it doesn't seem like you have a corrosion problem with the pipe itself. Everything seems to be geared more towards the bolts that are giving you the issues. And so we've got to correct that on this future project by grease wrapping that with the gas company type wrap for all of the bolts to prohibit that. So we're looking to do a cost savings by removing the zinc coating on the duct wire pipe. And I don't know where that number is going to be, $5, $7 a foot. And you notice there's not a lot of duct wire pipe on the project. Matter of fact, I think it's only Northview has some duct
West
wire.
Virginia Avenue,
Else,
I think, yeah.
yes.
I think there's a little section down in Lower Stately.
What about Main
Is this
Street?
new we're putting in?
Yeah, it's made a new duct wire pipe. So it does have an asphalt coating on the exterior, so it does have protection, more so than your cast and whatnot, so.
Did we have some issue on Main Street or Pike Street with, where the fittings come together? They weren't packed right or something, or
Yes,
or
they were not grease wrapped.
lubricated right?
They were not grease wrapped when it originally was put in back, what, 12 years ago?
Or more than that, yeah. Okay, well,
So, I mean, there were some issues with some zinc coated fittings, and I think we all agreed that that really wasn't necessary on this project.
Do they still use like any kind of a cathodic protection for stuff like that anymore?
Not so much on pipe as far as water line. I've never really used any on water line. I don't think it's got the, I don't know enough to dive in like the gas company. I know the gas company has a lot of issues with having to have cathodic protection on a lot of the gas lines, but I don't think the water line has that issue. I don't know if it's the.
when I first got on this board, I know there was a lot of discussions at times about the cathodic reactions and so on with the different metals. I remember we had a lot of discussion about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a sacrificial metal,
Yeah.
so it'll get eaten up
Yeah,
before the pipe.
but we
Yeah,
had
so
some
I know we
issues
do
with
that
it.
on tanks. A lot of that happens on the time you do a new water tank, you have cathodic protection, sacrificial anodes on the water tanks, but not so much on
Okay.
the water line. Never have seen that before.
The soil have an effect on that kind of stuff, the type of soil you're in.
Yeah, so that's obviously makes it corrode. So you got the corrosive soils, which
Sure.
is, I think, what your issue with your bolts are. You keep your bolts up. So as far as I don't know enough about the
Yeah,
ions
change out the dirt.
and anodes.
Really? Clean, clean fill. Well, thank you
But,
very much.
but the good thing is that they were able to do that change order and let all the contractors know and all their
Well,
suppliers.
that's
know that
good.
We don't need to do the zinc coated fittings, which saves us a little bit of money and it's possible extended lead time. So.
Yeah, the
we-
lead time was one of the biggest issues is, hey, this is gonna be a really big lead time, gotta zinc coat all of it. So most of our stuff is PVC, so we basically said, okay, it really wasn't clear in the spec whether you had to have zinc coating on the fittings themselves. So we said, let's eliminate the zinc coating on the fittings and we will entertain a change order to eliminate it on the top line.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at.
Chad, do you have any questions?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
So, just in summary, because we all know, we repeated ourselves 3 times,
Sure.
just so everybody knows. The North View will start next month.
Yep.
And it has a 2-year project timeline, so December 27th. Same for Staling, starting in January and ending in December of 27. The Rosebud, as we call it, we always laugh because that's just what they call it, but it's
The Army Road.
The Army Road and the Kramer.
Kramer Drive.
It's a 1 year, so it'll start in January and end December of 25. It's just a 1-year contract.
Those 2 projects.
Yes, which is one contract. And then your downtown will start in February. So it'll start a month later, and they're supposed to be finished in January of 25. They're supposed to have, I think, 4 crews, I believe was that said, to start with, and may have to ramp it up the closer they get. But
They got to get ahead of the
they
state. Department.
they are certain they can meet that deadline. So
That's the October deadline to get Main and Pike Street done. So there's a little extra time to do some of the streets that the DOH has paid.
So there's 3 of the projects are 1-year term. Rosebud, Army Road, right? Kramer Drive.
Yeah.
And what was the other one we just talked about? Because I said Main
Downtown.
Street Pike, okay.
Downtown.
So then we have Staley and Northview,
Which are 2-year contracts.
and both
They're
2 years.
30-month contracts.
30 months.
So we figured there's another 6 months by the time we get that.
You got some weather things and so on. So 2 to 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Any questions, guys?
And then Shelby's got you done? Steve, is that
Yes,
it?
yeah.
And then
Thank you.
Shelby's got a requisition number 2 to present to you all, which I gave it to you there right before the meeting. Hot off the press.
So this is a pay requisition for some invoices that didn't get to be included on the closing. This is coming from 3 different funding sources, all the WTRF loans and principal forgiveness loans for Thrasher and for Region 6. The total for all invoices included is there in yellow. And everything attached is the invoices and then a summary page for each funding source.
So the grand total,
503,781.
so it is.
Yes, 0.03.
Chad, I don't think you're able to see this, but trust our judgment. This is all just a matter of routine. Unless we're gonna throw something in for you, you want something. Okay.
Not this time.
Do we need to go through this in detail?
No, I'm just looking at
Okay,
it.
you've got the figure. Why don't you make a motion to approve?
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the amount of $503,781.03.
I'll second.
Okay, so motion is seconded. Do you have any more information? Is that pretty covers? pretty
That's
well?
everything except for your signature.
What do I get paid for that? No, okay.
$1 per signature.
Okay, motion on the floor that we execute this agreement, make the payment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'll sign them in at the end of the
Sure
meeting.
thing.
Okay, let's move right on.
Okay, Snake Hollow Road Water Line Extension Project. What do you got, Steve?
All right, so getting close. Talked to Tim on the way in. He's gonna provide us with the final title opinion on that. Send that to the DEP and see what else they come back with, what we need before we could get a bid, but I know they were anxious to get that out the bid. I think they were under internal pressure to get some projects bid. So, so I think they'll get their final opinion over it, and I think they'll, move that along. So,
How do you think that'll come in, work-wise, you know, as far as?
I think there's still contractors out there they have availability. So, yeah, you know, it's not a real difficult job compared to the in-town stuff.
Yeah.
It's a rural extension. So, yeah, hopefully we can get a qualified contractor to come in and get it knocked out, get those people water.
I was thinking about this the other day. I probably should have called you to ask you right in the middle of the meeting, but I think the answer is going to be no. I'm going to ask it anyway. We have an open contract with Green River Group. Is that a possibility to,
To have change what.
I mean, it's an open contract. They haven't closed it yet.
How would they do that? Give us like a rate per
Yeah.
man hour, or they give us?
Negotiate
It would
an
be
addendum to the original.
We don't have to bid and we can
It's,
just.
I mean, it's a small
Well-
project. I mean, you're talking what, 1 point something million? It's a small.
Still.
Well, I mean, in the scheme of things, it's a small project.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's probably more of a Tim question, but that's a whole new funding agency and it's really a different scope of work.
Okay, I just want to throw that out there.
It's a significantly different location. I think there are a number of issues. I think it's a great idea.
I just
That would shortcut all the bidding stuff, but
go straight to
If
construction.
we could do that, but yet I don't know if we can make that fly.
it doesn't seem likely to me. I'm happy to review the contract.
Yeah, I just want to throw it out there. I figured it was probably going to be a convoluted process, but I thought we could
Well,
streamline things.
It's a good idea if we can make it work. but-
I share Steve's concerns. They're just too dissimilar to extend one contract into another.
It's a whole different ballgame. No more.
With a whole different funding agency.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, I find the game was us on that contract.
Mr. Attorney, just take a quick look at it. when you get a
Yeah,
chance.
Yes, sir. Happy to do so.
It was just a thought.
Okay.
Second Street pump station project.
I do not have an update on that.
Okay, no update.
Okay, let's go to the.
Doug should.
All right, TTHM removal project. We have our two friends on the line there. They wanted to give us an update on that. So Billy and Steve, it's your time to shine, buddy.
He called Steve and Scott.
Oh, Scott, good Lord. Why, oh, why, Scott, do I want to call you Steve? I'm just going to rename you.
What's a good name?
It's
That's
that,
right.
it's that crazy sweater you have on today.
That's it. That's it. Scott and Billy, you ready?
Scott, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm on mute. Sorry about that. I don't know
Why-
why.
That's a good
Probably
That's the
saying,
first
"Yes, I have an
time."
uncle."
All right.
So, no, we want to let you guys know that the state of Texas, they don't need approval for our system, so we're going to be sliding right into the state of Texas so far. We've got about, I don't know, close to 20 accounts already set up in that state and about 6 set up in Louisiana. We've got a bunch set up in Oklahoma already. We're also finding that, you know, a lot of the makeup of TTHMs and the chloroform, we're getting rid of on every single test that we do. All the way down to the single digits to where it's non-existent, like less than 0 from our system. And so we just we've got more data and, you know, Jason, I could send you some more data if you need it, but we also are wondering about what's going on with the state of West Virginia. You know, have they looked at our system and, you know, where are we with that? And we are concerned that if we want to get this thing in by, you know, June or June 21st or the summertime or even the spring for the clear well, we're going to have to at least order parts, you know, in the January, February timeframe. If we go later than that, we're going to be pushing beyond June. So, because of just the part orders and all that takes anywhere between 8 and 12 weeks.
Where will we find that information with the state?
It's through the EPA, and Shelby's got a handle on that.
Yeah, we, had a discussion with our project officer from the EPA. I think she's located in Philadelphia. And, she told us she would get back to us with some information about our intent to basically procure this from a sole source. You have to justify that instead of going out for competitive bid. Haven't heard back from her. That was in like November. So I can put in a little plug to let her know, we need to know this stuff in order to order parts, basically.
And she knows the urgency. I mean, well, I think we did a good job
Yeah.
explaining all that.
But we've had some hot weather. We don't want to go through that again. this
She, I mean,
summer.
she understands the urgency, and we provided all of the data showing the reduction. So,
He specifically mentioned West Virginia, what was going on. I assumed it was something with the state, but this is the federal agency, right?
EPA, that's where our grant's through.
And, he was talking about Texas and the state and stuff. I didn't know. I was a little confused on that. Can you explain?
Oh, wait, I just wanted to kind of give you an update of where we are. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Just to kind of give you an update of what we're finding out there, with our other customers. That's all.
Okay, when you were saying West Virginia, you're talking about a project as in West Virginia, but not a government issue.
Right.
Okay. All righty. Because I think Texas was doing some stuff. Paul, any questions? Chad, anything with you?
No question.
All we do is push forward. We want to get this thing done as quickly as we can.
Do we need anything else from Al? I think we got everything we need, don't we, Shelby?
Yeah, for now. She's supposed to let us know what else we need. Definitely don't order parts. She was thinking that we'd get a grant agreement in February. Maybe we can get her to
Push
get
that
it
up.
to us a little earlier.
So we can't actually purchase it before the money's allocated.
You want approval of the sole source procurement,
Right.
before you make any money decisions.
The only thing that they will do prior to engaging anything on their part is her fees, is administration. But as in anything with the actual project itself, gotta have everything in place before.
You just graduated the parts.
You just graduated the parts. Can reach the 6 by the parts for us. It will reimburse you.
I wouldn't trust me with that.
Well, to move the meeting along, because we're under a time constraint. Just to summarize, you're working on trying to expedite or move it up a little by recontacting her
Mhm.
with a sense of urgency. There's nothing more we can do. I mean, we're just kind of waiting for them to react
Yeah.
and then pass it along to Scott, not Steve.
Scott,
And
Scott.
And Bill.
Scott and Bill, I gotta put that in there. I'm looking at him saying Steve, and I told him Steve last time, so I gotta get that.
Any questions, guys? Chad?
No question.
Yeah, I've got a question. And I'm sorry, I haven't met the lady sitting there. We haven't been introduced to her, I don't think, or have we?
Well,
This is,
stand up and say hello to her.
this is Shelby Johnson. She's our project administrator. for-
Now, can you
Hey,
see her?
Shelby.
Are we on camera?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
hi.
You're
Yes,
not married, you're not kin to Bobby, are you?
No.
Okay.
So Shelby's role in this is to make sure that we continue to be qualified for the grant funding, and that's what she's working on now,
Region 6
the
development.
EPA administrator.
Yeah,
Uh,
I work for Region 6 Planning and Development Council. We serve 6 counties and Harrison and West Virginia as well. So we assisted them in applying for the grants directly to the EPA, and they received the notice of award here a few months ago. And now this program is completely new. It's a pilot program. There's nobody in the federal government who's ever done this before. So there is a bit of delay in kind of the administrative upfront work to, provide these documents and things like that. So,
Gotcha.
but
Well, we appreciate your help. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. I'll try to get your questions answered as soon as possible.
Well, thank y'all. It's just a concern. That's all. We don't want to be pushy or anything like that. I just want to kind of give you some realistic, dates here.
All right.
Well, our goal was to have him in by summer. So I mean, that's why he's we're kind of putting the pressure on him, putting pressure on ourselves to get this moving along, because we would like to have at least the clear well in operation by June. That's kind of our goal, so.
But what
We're
we're
gonna
hearing
try.
today, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
Well, it could be realistic if we could order, what do you think, Billy, in February? That's,
Yeah, like you say, the 8 to 12 months, but there's a lot that can happen while we're waiting for pumps and things to come in. So
you said 8 to 12 months.
the pumps are going to be our long lead item.
You said 8 to 12 months, Billy. You're talking 8 to 12 weeks?
Some weeks.
Weeks,
Okay.
weeks.
Oh, when he said months, I'm gonna say, we're gonna be on summer.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, 8 to 12 weeks.
It's all right.
If we can, okay, so.
But
Hopefully.
if we order the pumps as quick as we get approval, we'll be moving with other things, piping, and so a lot can happen while we're waiting for
But I'll
pumps.
tell you what, the girl that can make it happen is this young lady right
That's
here,
right.
Shelby.
And she mentioned that several times on our call, is the month of February, so we're gonna push her to that. So, I mean, she understands the urgency, our project
She
manager.
being
She as an EPA,
Her name's Kelly.
Kelly.
O'Neill,
Mhm.
yeah,
Kelly.
EPA man, she's our EPA officer.
And she's up above where you were staying. You're-
She's she's in the federal government
Yeah.
agency. She's the manager on that end.
We don't want to make sure Trump doesn't discover you. He'll move you up to the top.
I don't work
She's-
for the
this-
feds.
this girl is awesome.
She's on our side, Mr. President. I do
That's
think,
right.
I think the hourly billing rate is too low. That's what I think.
Well, anyway,
What you do for us.
she does a tremendous job
She
for
does
us.
do.
She's our best kept secret.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty, guys. Thank you, guys. Any questions?
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Billy. Merry Christmas to you.
Christmas to
All
you.
right, Merry Christmas to
All right,
y'all.
thank
Thank
you.
y'all so much.
Good enough, man.
Merry
All
Christmas.
right,
See
see
ya.
y'all. Bye-bye.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, board member reports and employee reports. Y'all have anything to, Paul?
I don't, Chad, you have anything?
No reports.
No, I don't have
Yeah, I
any.
thought the meetings went really well, how Jason mentioned that all the public meetings, sales was really nice, and I think it,
Well, there's always,
for all the public.
there's always a possibility as we go forward to make presentations like we did before with the lead line issue, going out, talking to the civic clubs and so on. And that's the way you spread the word, is constant communication. So if
Yeah.
anybody's looking for a speaker or a program, and we may have to follow up as we go, and we'll have other neighborhood meetings as we move into other neighborhoods, right?
What I plan on doing, Mr. President, is I'll drag you along, is do a presentation,
Right.
drag you along, whether you like it or not, city council.
Yeah.
County commission, kind of get the word out to some
We
of
need
that.
to keep briefing people so they feel like they're in the loop.
Yeah.
Because they get questions.
And Logan did a great job too, you got a, front page all about the whole.
Good
story.
job, Logan.
Yeah,
Yeah. And the news as well, so they covered it well.
Yeah. Okay. let's move on.
employee reports, I'm gonna have Bob explain to you, we done some smoke testing here at the water plant.
Smoke test.
Smoke testing in three of the different areas in here, and I'll let him tell you all three tests.
Well, we had the fire department come in, they brought their mobile smoke unit, basically, they smoked the room up and we turned the ventilation fan and wanted to see how long it took to clear it out. That'd be, basically use the smoke as chlorine gas,
Sure.
if that would happen. Well, it took almost 30 minutes to clear the room out of the smoke, so that kind of failed.
Kind of, supposed to be 30 seconds.
Yeah, and of course, smoke's going in the air, so it's getting relieved quicker, where gas settles to the bottom, so it would take even longer to get the chlorine gas out of the room.
Even if it would, right?
Yeah, right. And then they came back on the last Friday, and they did. You gotta understand that when I talk about the chlorine room, we have two sections to the chlorine room. One is the storage room where the cylinders are at, and the other is the feed room. So they came back and did the feed room, and then we have a sulfur room downstairs where we use for the outfall. And what the sulfur is it dechlorinates the water and put it back in the river. So what we thought was, well, we'll just test those two. And we're like, they would fail. Well, yep, yeah, they failed us. The sulfur room did pretty good. The only thing about the sulfur room was it wasn't designed for that. We turned it into a sulfur room. It was actually a lime feeding room. So what we need to do is actually bring it down to the floor where it was stuck instead of it going in the air. So, I mean, there's some changes we need to do. We have our safety guy, he said he was gonna bring in, a fellow he knows that specializes in that, and, so that's what we're waiting on.
Good deal.
So,
So.
it looked like a cheek and chong convention.
We have to do it. It's one of
Yeah.
those things you have
Yeah,
to do.
Yeah.
I like doing these exercises because it sees our vulnerabilities, rather catch them now than when it costs somebody a life. So,
Chad, you have any questions? Always, you're not here. Jump in.
No, no,
Okay, thank you.
anything else you need to report?
No, I mean, my guys are doing what they're supposed to do. They're helping Kathy this week with getting stuff ready for the party. Our young feller Trenton, is it okay to mention that? Trenton, our, apprentice, he, somehow he's gotten all his credits. He's actually gonna get his diploma and, he's done with school come Friday.
Right.
So he'll start to work for us.
You say somehow?
So, yeah, I'm not sure how, but I wish they had that when I was in school.
Yeah, you don't have to go back next.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to go back, so he'll be coming a full-time employee.
So he's applied, we did an internal posting, he's applied for it, so of course he'd be the only one that's gonna apply for it. Beginner job, and, so we'll bring him on just like
That's
we
good.
promised, and
He grew up right before our eyes.
he'll be on another shift, so once he's hired, we will have 2 operators on every shift, except probably the weekends.
Yeah, the weekend one, because we have a guy on evening now, the only thing we don't do is make him work the weekend. And that way he's here every week, 5 days a week, and now we're gonna do the same with midnight.
Yes, midnight, so all 3 shifts through the week will be manned to people, which was our goal. So.
Got one
that's-
question for Bob quickly. We haven't been updated on the heavy metal certification, our equipment and program. What's happening there?
Oh, the laboratory certification.
The GM probably be better than I am. They're
We've got
going-
everything ready. We're going to apply next month. Yeah, they've got all their tests and stuff back. Everybody's passed their test. When I say when they pass the test, they gotta run a sample on the machine. That's sent in by a secondary lab.
Yeah.
They test it, send the results back to the lab, and the lab runs it. The certified lab,
So they're verifying each
take
other.
it and make sure they're within parameters.
Yeah.
And they all passed the test. So we've got everything we need. So we're gonna get with Bryson at the beginning of January, and we're gonna start the application process. We've got everything ready. Everything is ready to roll.
Good
So
deal. So now it's the application.
so I can kind of see why we didn't get certified. I just wish they were more forthcoming. Some things we were lacking in. We can see that now, what we were lacking in. I just wish they were more transparent, say, hey,
At the
we don't
beginning.
think you're ready yet, you need to fix these things,
Yeah.
but they didn't.
Yeah.
So we learned a lot over this last year. We're ready now.
Again, their help was about like it was with lead golf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I can clearly see why we didn't get
First, we were
certified.
really prepared, and it looked like they were just gonna certify us
Yeah.
because of all the work we'd done.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but
There
everything's,
was, yeah, there's very little help.
We had a lot of shortcomings that we didn't know about. We know now.
but you didn't, how would you know about it if you didn't have the direction?
We had no direction.
Well,
We are ready, and I think it's gonna go through this time. I'm pretty sure it'll go through this.
are there many water providers like our that do this in the state?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
All righty.
Mostly just private lab.
Mostly
Private labs.
And you got your state lab in Charleston.
They do the bacterial stuff and all that, right?
Oh, yeah, but there is some plants that do back T samples that do have their own back T lab, but they don't have lead and copper.
But they don't have like heavy metals like copper, that copper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Bob. That's what I wanted to know. We hadn't heard anything. We didn't know where we stood. Okay.
Bobby Fazzini,
I'm here.
you wanna tell them that you're blowing up streets and tearing up stuff?
Well, we're still chasing. But we're down on Monticello right there at Gomar Lane towards
Yeah.
Pike Street, chasing a leak this morning. They're gonna come in very shortly for this dinner, then they're going back.
Yeah.
So,
I listened to his voice. I'm thinking you ought to go into doing voiceovers like James Earl Jones. You could be the new Darth Vader. You got that real deep voice,
I'm good.
Doesn't he?
We're a Western.
and he does a great job.
I think I'm gonna contract you out.
Yeah.
I'm good, but now they're gonna come in very briefly. Yeah.
Even gets
And
low,
they're going
too.
back.
Can we, are you finished with that?
I think we're done. We go.
Well, could
real quick.
I offer some kudos, okay? I went down with him the other day, looked at the building that our group, you guys constructed. I mean, I don't think any contractors get any better privately. And
Well, the guys that built that, they're very,
OCD.
yeah, very OCD
Okay.
and,
See, it
they
looks so
like
neat. It looks
meticulous.
good. Well,
that's the word I was looking.
well, it looks neat. It looks well constructed. And the
Yes.
best part, as we just learned from you, we budgeted what, $30,000? And we did it for about 14,000 or so.
15, they would say 15,000.
It's a lot of savings, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Don't thank me, thank them guys.
Well, you kind of led with them.
Yes.
You pass that along. We'll see them at the luncheon today. Anything else?
That's it. We can go to executive session real quick.
Oh, should go into a brief executive session. Anybody back here have anything quickly? Because this should be very
We'll
fast.
stay for the-
Steve?
anything? Okay, we don't need to sign these real quick.
How you gonna get
I'll
that?
sign,
What is that?
I'll sign as soon as we go do this.
I'll second the motion.
Motion to go into
You
executive
won all of them
session.
last year.
It's
I
been
didn't look at any,
seconded.
but I walked
All in
out
favor,
with
say
two,
aye.
because there were other people who didn't want.